Well, hello there, everybody. Now, welcome back to my kitchen. Or at least a kitchen. I don't even know if it's mine. However, regardless of that, I had a lot of fun outdoing Gordon Ramsay's grilled cheese sandwich, mainly because of the fact that what I made was actually grilled cheese, and not whatever God's name he was attempting to create back then. And of course I had so much fun that I felt like at least teaching you... What is this on the table? Get that. I felt like at least teaching some of you guys at least a couple more recipes that I at least know of that are relatively easy to make. And you know what? I'm technically combining two in one with this video, because this one is a thing that I like to call the poor man's breakfast. It's morning as of recording this. I don't know if you guys can even get over here. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Whatever. It's morning, just trust me. But of course, this breakfast is actually fairly easy, that it only requires like a handful of ingredients at most, and I will display them to you right now. First thing that you're obviously going to need is... I already made the joke. About 4 eggs. And some bread. And today's optional ingredients are mainly just salt and pepper. Do I even have pepper? No, but I have salt, and I have, Oh, I do have pepper. I'm just blind. Now, of course, one thing that I'm going to do this time that I'll not neglect to do again. Prepare the stove. Now, of course, the primary utensils that you're going to need are a whisk, one of these. You're definitely going to need a spatula for this. Obviously, a pan, because obviously, also, some people are freaking out over this thing apparently being on the outside. Is this better? Is this better, you fucks? Is this fucking better? And 2 measuring cups, and I'll explain all of these ingredients here very shortly. Now, we're mainly going to be starting off with the most complicated one, which is something that I just simply like to call the cheese omelet. Now, you're going to need at least 3 eggs for this. You can use more if you feel like doing that for whatever reason. And this is where these 2 measuring cups come in. What you're going to need to do is obviously crack these bitches open, and first things first, what you're going to want to do is separate the whites from the yolks, at least initially. You'll want to do that. I'm not entirely perfect. There's still a little bit of egg white with the yolk, but you know what? That's an unavoidable fate, unlike like a lot of things. But you know what? As long as you can get most of the way there, you're already good. Oh no! Oh no! You are not doing that. And then, what you are going to want to do is take your whisk, or you can use a fork if you feel like torturing yourself, and start off with the egg whites here first. And what you're going to want to do is basically whisk these until they're about like a froth kind of texture, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll understand it once it's there. Here's a little life hack for you guys to at least get things going. It's like your own personal stand mixer, except you're just wearing out your fucking hands. Yeah, what you're gonna want is something kind of close to this. Now, it's okay if not all of it turns into a froth. You want at least most of it to look that way for the omelet. It's okay if not all of it is, you know, that way. Not everything can be 100% perfect, but it can sure as hell be very damn close. Now, you're not done with your whisk/torture device yet. You still have the yolks to deal with. Yeah, that's right. We aren't just separating these just that way we can fuck them over. No, they're gonna be re-added here in just a minute. What you're gonna want to do is, again, optional. You can take your salt and pepper here. Also, by the way, just take a look at this. It says this is Himalayan pink salt. It's not. It used to have Himalayan pink salt in it, but it's now just been replaced with, I think it's just literally just sea salt. But whatever, it's good enough. They don't need anything fancy in this kitchen, but just enough to add a little bit more flavor, if you will. And then, all you have to do is just mix up the yolks until they just look like a liquid. And there you go. And then you just pour it into, fuck's sake. And then you just pour it into here. And then combine the 2 until the froth looks yellow. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Alright, now anyways, come here. I'm pretty sure our pan is ready. Let me just check here. What, do you think I'm gonna actually put my fucking finger in there? How stupid do you think I am? Ooh, yeah. That's perfect. Well, unless your pan is fucking enchanted with the magic that is known as non-stick metal, put like some butter or some non-stick spray onto there first, because otherwise the next part of this meal is going to be basically like a fucking boss run. And then what you do is you just pour your little egg mixture into the pan here. Look at that. I'm not a maniac after all, am I? Now, of course, the one thing that you're gonna mainly do here is just wait a little bit, but I might as well introduce you to the other ingredients that we're gonna be using here very shortly. And that is, of course, obviously, the cheese of this cheese omelet. Now, since I used Colby Jack and provolone in our grilled cheese, we're going to be using the other two cheeses so that way they aren't too lonely. What exactly kind of omelet are we making here? We're using Havarti and sharp white cheddar. That's what we're making today. Now, of course, if your cheese is like in a brick or something like that, you can like shred it and like use shreds of cheese inside of there. But since we aren't that rich, we're just using slices here. And for slices, you just kind of break them apart. Just break them into smaller little bits here and just kind of toss them around close to the middle here. You can barely see them, but they're in there. Same thing for the other cheeses, is a bit of a thinner cheese in the sharp white cheddar. So it might actually melt just a little easier. You know what? Whatever. It's whatever. You're probably seeing that some of this is kind of sinking in there. That's fine. You don't have to worry about that. Now, your next step here is to just kind of poke around the edges here. Make sure that the omelet is properly loosened around the edges. As you can see, it's actually relatively solid enough at the bottom there that we can actually move on to the next step here, which is technically the last step, although you still have to wait just a little bit. And that is, of course, to fold it in half. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that wasn't entirely perfect, but you know what? That's what a learning experience is, right? How did the cheese fucking poke through there? What the hell? You can also flip the omelet a little bit if you want to add in that extra little bit of cooking, which is kind of necessary. Make sure that everything is cooked properly. Oh my god, it's starting to fall apart, but whatever. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to be edible, and that's perfectly fine. It's meant to be good. It's not meant to be presentable, it's meant to be at least decent tasting, so that way it's good enough. Oh my fucking god, it went off the fucking heater. Jesus Christ. Smells good too. I wish you guys could actually smell this with me. It's actually not bad. Alright, anyways, quickly grab a plate for our little phase 1 of this meal here. Now, I do believe that our omelet is probably mostly ready here. Let me check. Shit. You know what, it's ready enough. There you go. Keep the pan off the heat for just a little bit here, so I can show you the finished omelet. Now, it's a little bit busted right there, but you can see, look at that melty cheese there, buddy. Doesn't that look good? Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, well, Sanity, there are a few other ingredients. Hell, you're seeing one of them right here. There's an extra egg and there's some bread. What do you want me to do with this? Well, that's where the full part of this full breakfast comes in. Because, for this, we just need 1 egg and a slice of bread. Let me fucking put that in frame. Now, once again, you're probably curious as to where this is even going. And trust me, it's probably not going exactly where you think it's gonna go, but probably exactly how you think it's gonna go. You can use a knife, or if you have like a small enough cup, you can kind of do a similar thing. What you're gonna want to do here is basically cut a hole here in the middle of your bread. Now, what you decide to do with this middle portion here is up to you. You can use it as a snack while you're waiting for it to cook. You can do whatever you want with it. Personally, I just eat it like this. And now we go back over to our pan view over here. Look at this. I know, it's the same exact pan as before, except I'm reusing it now. Now, if you're feeling just a little bit paranoid, you can, in fact, put a little bit more non-stick spray. Just to make sure that things don't stick. And then you just throw your bread onto there. This is also where the egg comes in. What you do is you just kind of crack the egg. You don't really have to do much of anything with this second part of the recipe. Just crack the egg, put it into the bread, and there you go, now you just wait. Just listen to that. You can probably barely hear it, but there's some sizzle. It's a very simple recipe, but that's mainly because I'm a relatively simple man. I don't need much. doing that. Chopstick time. Are you gonna complain about me using a fucking chopstick? It's the closest thing that I have in hand. I'm not gonna go ahead and grab a fork, even though it's like barely farther away from me. Can you cook, I ask myself. The resounding answer is no. Let me flip it back over just to check. Oh yeah, that's good. Pay the hell attention. And now we get into putting this onto the plate right next to our delicious omelet. And here we have it. Our delicious poor man's breakfast here. It actually doesn't look half bad, despite the fact that the omelet got a little bit screwed up, but you know what? That's to be expected with any level of cooking. Nobody can be entirely perfect, as Gordon Ramsay has already proven to us with his inability to make a grilled cheese. However, I do believe that even this, I mean, come on, it's gotta be worthy of at least some kind of applause. That's gonna do it for today's iteration of whatever in God's name I'm gonna be calling this mini cooking series. And, yeah. Anyways, I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.